Well, hi Daniel. Thanks for coming on today and participating in the green room. How are things going for you?
Pretty well.
Yeah.
We're deep into rehearsals. As you and your listeners may know, we basically write the show while we are rehearsing it. It's like building an airplane while you're designing the airplane when you're already in the air. Uh, so stressful but fun.
What a great analogy. What type of airplane is it? Is it acrobatic or sort of just like your lumbering 747?
Yeah, it's like three wings stacked
Oh,
up, like a
a
old.
triplane,
Yes, exactly.
and it flies upside down, and you have people on the wings.
That's right.
And the name of the show is Disruption.
Yeah, that's right.
My phone just, I said something that made Siri start talking to me on my
If
phone.
thought you wanted information about triplanes.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. The show is called Disruption, and it's as most Mime Troupe shows are. It's talking about multiple issues and how they intersect with one another, and it's also drawing parallels between what's happening on the local level and what's happening on the national level. That they're in some ways very similar. Money uh, taking power and taking control over taking control out of the hands of the people, and putting it into the hands of a few technocrats, maybe we could call them Pluto techno kleptocrats.
So it's very much in line with all the other wonderful shows that the Mime Troupe has performed over the years, then sounds like.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's part of the same tradition. I mean, we're
mhm.
trying to, as always, we try to do a little something new here and there, so that we're not just repeating ourselves.
Yes.
But yes, it's part of the same tradition that the Mime Troupe has been championing for over 60 years.
That's one of the things I love about your shows is they're always so different from the year before. Even though they handle similar topics of, economic repression and things like that, they're always very unique.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you're the musical director, and you have been for a long time,
Musical
um,
director and composer lyricist. Yeah.
and composer lyricist, and you've been doing that since the early 2000s. Is that right?
Something like that. It all starts to
Yeah.
blend together, especially
Yeah.
since COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. I first did a little bit of work with the troupe, just playing the piano, a couple years in the early 2000s, in 2006, 2007, and then I was away from the troupe for quite a while, and then I came back in 2015, again just as a musician in the band. But then over the next couple years after that, I started getting involved in the creative side. And since 2019, I've been the troupe's resident songwriter and musical director. There was a year where I took a year off from the band and somebody else played the piano, but I was still writing the songs. Um, and last year, I wasn't the musical director, but I was still writing the songs and I played in the band. So it varies a little bit exactly what my duties are, but yeah, it's been basically since 2015
Hmm.
that I've been doing that.
And what's your process for writing the music for a show like this?
Well, it varies a little bit, and I can explain that. The basic process is I get script pages from Michael Gene Sullivan, and I take what he's written. He's usually provided a prompt, like it'll say maybe a song here or something like that.
And he
Uh,
writes most of the shows for you guys.
yeah, he
You have the
writes
book.
most of the shows.
Yeah.
Although also Marie Cartier has been collaborating with him on the last couple of shows. So she's written some of the material that is in this show as well. Um, but so I'll get script pages, maybe a song prompt, and then usually what I do is I start with the lyrics. I take words that Michael's written. I say, well, that looks like a lyric, or that looks like it could be turned into a lyric. And then those lines that aren't really lyrical or don't really quite fit within the song either get to stay as dialogue, or I come up with a way of saying roughly the same thing in a more lyrical sort of way. Uh,
Mm.
I say usually. I usually start with the words and then come up with music for the words that I've written. Um, Sometimes, and including this year, there'll be a piece where it varies a little bit from that. So this year there have been a couple of things that I've done already where I was a little bit stuck on the words, and but had an idea of what it should sound like, and so went ahead and created some music and then fit words to that music. I think that's actually harder. It's usually easier to have the words first. I come up with a melody and then I build music around that melody. But sometimes it just doesn't work out that way, and you
Mhm.
come up with some music first and then create words to fit that music.
I see.
Yeah, so it just varies, but overall, I usually like starting with words first because I feel like that well it does give me a more melodic basis for the song. I feel like uh audiences, although they may enjoy um rhythm and they may enjoy harmonic ideas in the music, that melody, what the actors are singing, is really what allows the listener to connect. So I usually try to start with melody once
Mhm.
I have the words in place.
Yeah. Yeah, you want people to walk out remembering some of the tunes
Yeah,
and
yeah, and I
they
don't
can hum
know.
them to themselves.
Well, hopefully. I mean,
Yeah.
because Mime Troupe shows are quite short,
Yeah.
and the songs maybe occasionally get to be longer, but usually the songs are on the short side as well.
Hmm.
And even when they're not, because of economy of time within the show, there's not usually as much repetition as there would be in your full, 2.5 hour long Broadway production.
Yeah.
Is going to have more repetition, and I think repetition is what actually
Yeah.
gets the audience to memorize things.
Right.
That's all right. We do our best.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Um, Now disruption is about it, I was reading a little bit about it. It sounds like poor San Francisco is being forced into a sort of a secondary level as compared to Silicon Valley in time for the president to show
Right,
up.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, interestingly, I was just listening to NPR this morning. They had Rebecca Solnit on there, and she said uh, something interesting. Feels like Silicon Valley has consumed the city, and now San Francisco is merely one spot within Silicon Valley, as opposed to San Francisco being the thing. I don't know if that's really true, but
I don't think it is.
maybe it feels like that sometimes.
God, I hope it isn't that.
But yeah, the show is very much uh, looking at um, technology being used to uh, make a city more profitable or more efficient, at the expense of those who live there. And
Hmm.
and it not just technology. I'm not trying to overemphasize the idea of technology, but certainly technology and finance.
Yeah.
And I think that that's the story both here and nationally. Um, and with the president and his cronies, who don't need to be named right now, um, uh, I think that we are looking at sort of similar things happening within the Bay Area that we're looking at nationally of people looking at government like it should be run as if it's a business. But government isn't a business. It's providing a service, and those services are goods unto themselves, regardless of whether they're making profit or not.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think a lot of people forget that, obviously, and it's a basic tenet of government, and if we don't remember that, we're in big trouble. So
Yeah.
I'm glad that you're making a contribution towards the awareness of this in a humorous and ironic way,
Yeah.
as Mine Troupe always does. Now, your show runs from July 1st through July 4th through August 3rd. And all over the Bay Area, number of locations as usual. Is that right?
Yeah, I believe so. I don't have the exact schedule at my fingertips, but
Yeah.
that sounds right. And
Yeah.
the schedule is available on our website, sfmt.org.
Oh, I have it
Um,
here. So you'll be opening at Dolores Park on July 4th.
that's right.
And 2 o'clock. And then you have July 5th, Dolores Park. Then you're going to move to Yerba Buena Gardens over the Panhandle, Z Space. Then Lakeside Park in Oakland. Then you're going to be in Berkeley for a few days. Ukiah High School. Oh, you're going to Ukiah. Going down to Cotati and then over to Santa Cruz. Ah, you're not going to be in Mitchell Park in Palo Alto this year.
No, we're not going to be in Palo Alto. I think there's a show in Davis as well.
Yes, Davis High School.
Yeah, so the for the people out there and up in Ukiah as well, the Ukiah and Davis shows, as you know, as the environment has gotten hotter, it became untenable for us to do those shows outside in the parks. It just wasn't healthy, honestly, for
Yeah.
us, because we get there, the show is at 2. We get there at 9 a.m. and we're working, setting everything up through the hottest part of the day, and then we do the show, and then we have to take everything down, and it just came to the point where trying to do that all outside while the environment gets hotter and hotter was just not okay for us, and either really for our audience. There are definitely people in our audience in those places who are very grateful that we found indoor locations, and
Yes.
and they're really quite lovely. The Ukiah High School and Davis High School venues are really nice, and are a very pleasant experience, both for us and the audience, I think.
Yeah. Well, wonderful. Yeah. I mean, some of like these Shakespeare in the Park shows, for instance, over in Livermore,
Hmm.
um, and it gets up to like over 100 degrees. I
Yeah.
don't know how people survive that.
Yeah, it's not safe. I mean, if
Yeah.
you can afford like some large shade structure that you erect,
Yeah.
then sure, but we don't have the ability to do that, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's wonderful. And you will be composing, well, some of the music you compose will be up on the website soon, right? So people can listen to that.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how much or when, but
Hmm.
yeah, we usually put a couple of little samples to give people a taste up on the website, and then they hopefully will come out to the show and hear the whole thing.
Yeah. And all of your shows are free, right?
That's right.
People
Well,
can give if they
uh,
want.
there are some exceptions. I
Oh,
think those indoor shows may be ticketed. Um,
oh yeah, I see that free suggested donation of $20.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I think we will still let people in even if they can't pay, but we do uh, um, get donations at the door, as opposed to when we're doing the park shows, we get the donations after the show.
Yeah.
For those indoor shows, we ask for donations when people enter. Although we probably ask them for donations afterwards as well, but we don't, harangue them quite so much because they've already donated.
Well, I'm always so happy to give a donation because after the show, I'm always so moved and educated, and I've laughed a lot. So, yeah, I'm going to give you some money.
Awesome.
So hopefully everyone will do that. All right. Well, thank you, Daniel. It's been great having you on the program.
Thank you, Ray.
And break a leg. Talk to you soon.
Thanks a lot. Take care.
Okay.